Hi, I'm Antoine and you're watching Port to Port, the show about cruise ships, cruising, and our different ports of call. Now today we're in Grand Cayman, which is a very popular destination not only for cruise ships, but also for land-based tourists. Now I think the main economy here for the locals is the offshore banking that they offer, and that's of course banking that people's governments don't know about back home. The other thing is the scuba diving is a very well developed industry here. In fact, there's a lot of deep diving here, so technical divers or people that want to dive on coral reefs that drop down into the depths are going to flock here. Now, when you arrive on a cruise ship, you're going to run into a number of things. First of all, there's no pier here, which is a big stumbling block. It means that you need to tender in. Tendering are the small boats that takes people from ship to shore and from shore back to ship. So it's important to understand that your overall day on a cruise ship is a little bit shorter in Cayman because of the additional transit time to get from ship to shore. Now, most ships use the local Cayman tenders, and these are people ferries that hold several hundred people. So they do take a little bit of time to load up and unload, but they can move 200-300 people at once. Also, some cruise ships choose to use their own tender boats, and these are the lifeboats that double as tenders, and they hold half as many people. So a lot more loads, a little bit slower getting off, but either way, you will get yourself off the ship into Grand Cayman. Once you get there, there's a bunch of cool things to do, and I'm going to show them to you coming up next. And now we've tendered into Grand Cayman. There's a couple spots the tenders land, and we get into what's known as the shopping district here. Now, many of the cruise ship guests really enjoy shopping in Cayman. I'll make a few recommendations. You have your standard fare of jewelry stores that you'll see scattered around some of the other islands in the Caribbean. But here, there's some really high-end watches. And I don't mean Rolex, I mean things that go far more expensive than that. If that's the type of watch shopping you're gonna do, then Grand Cayman is the best island that I know of with the biggest selection of those really high-end timepieces. Now, in Grand Cayman, you're gonna be using a taxi to get around, but they don't look like the yellow cabs in New York City. They look like little minivans. And it's not a per vehicle charge, it's a per person charge to get around. So they usually don't leave until they're full. So look for a full one if you wanna leave right away. Now, any of the taxis that you pick up from the downtown area will all be sort of geared towards the tourists, and general destinations are going to be, well, 7 Mile Beach. This is a real popular spot. Now, here's the interesting thing. On the way back, you can literally flag down any little minibus that goes by, and if it happens to be a local bus that you catch, it'll be about half price for the same trip. So you're going to be using the taxis to get around. Let's hop in one right now and head to the beach. All right, one of the main activities that cruise ship guests are gonna do when they get to Grand Cayman is of course go to the beach. And the most famous beach here is called 7 Mile Beach. And of course, because it spans for 7 miles. Now, where the taxis drop you off when you ask for 7 Mile Beach are gonna be at some some choke points where there's somebody charging admission to get in. Now, I've been coming to Cayman for more than 10 years, and I've found a few little secret spots. Some of the hotels have their own private beach access, and they don't charge anything because they know you're gonna end up buying drinks as well as food at their restaurant. My favorite out of all of them is called Treasure Island, and we've been coming here for a long time. Now, I did notice there's a for sale sign out front, so it might be sold, might change hands, might change names, but until it does, check out Treasure Island. So one of the things vacationers all want to do is take a walk down the beach. And you're going to meet all kinds of other people, including some wildlife. Now, for those that go scuba diving, they're going to see all kinds of things at the reef. However, on the beach here, there's this massive pelican And he seems pretty chilled out. He seems like he's pretty used to people. Now, secretly, I've always wanted to own a pelican. And this guy seems pretty cool. Now, 7 Mile Beach is not the only option you have when it comes to relaxing and having some fun in the sun. There's many hotels here that back right up onto the beach that offer you, well, some other options to cool off, like, of course, the pool that you see behind me. Now, one of my favorites is a hotel called Treasure Island. And here, not only are you just a few steps away from the sandy shores, but they've got a beautiful pool, which is a more controlled environment if you have kids, or if you need to be able to swim up to the bar in order to get your next refreshment, then you've got that option here. Now, they also have a restaurant with some good food, and I want to show you some of my favorite dishes here. So when it comes to some of my absolute top things I enjoy to consume when I'm in Grand Cayman, there's this drink. Now here it's called a Cayman cider, although I think internationally it's also known as a mango macquarie. And why? Because it's a mango daiquiri with a Magner's cider, which is apple cider, upside down in it. And this is clearly one of the top 10 drinks in the world, according to me. Absolutely amazing. You need to try one. Here it comes, my favorite food in Grand Cayman, plain and simple. It's called a bacon cheeseburger wrap. Now, if that does not sound absolutely exciting to you, you have to taste it. It's the most incredible thing. Now, you can upgrade to yam fries, which are amazing, but the bacon cheeseburger wrap itself is sensational. I love it. And that brings us to the end of another amazing day in Grand Cayman. Now, the last thing that I need to cover is called Stingray City. There are many tour operators and boat rides that will take you out to a sandbar where hundreds of stingrays will come to be hand-fed by the tourists. This is a totally cool, very safe, fun experience where stingrays, these large, rubbery, velvety discs, will come and bowl you over as they try to suck squid from your hands. It's a fun experience. Now, when you leave the sandbar, a lot of these tour operators will then take you out to a reef to do a little bit of snorkeling. And even if you're not a scuba diver, it's well worth getting in the clear, pristine waters that have made Grand Cayman so famous. Well, that's it for today. I look forward to seeing you on our next episode of Port to Port.